Hey, Raise Them Well. It's Emily and Dr. Wiggy here.
Hey guys.
And we just wanted to take a couple minutes to answer some frequently asked questions about our kids' roll-on magnesium oil today, because we have a few that we seem to get more than others, and we wanted to just go ahead and get those answers for you. So I'm going to most of them ask Dr. Wiggy, and he can explain the answers to you.
I'll do my best.
So the first question is, how often can and should the magnesium oil be applied?
Yeah. So what I generally start off with would be applying it just once a day, and I generally apply it at night because it really does help calm things down. So a lot of times, again, just apply it at night. That will help them calm down for bedtime, help them sleep through the night. That's usually where I'd start off with. But then you also just want to see how they respond to it. So if you apply it and they just seem to be really calm, and your children just tend to mellow out, you can apply it during the day. That tends to help just can relax them throughout the day, but it can cause a little bit of sleepiness. So that's the issue. You kind of need the balance. So you generally apply it at night, but you can apply it during the day depending on how they respond.
And when it comes to sleep, if you say your child sleeps great at night, like ours is really good at sleeping at night, but nap time is more of a struggle, then it's okay to kind of follow that same routine. Typically, don't you say about 20 to 30 minutes before nap time?
20-30 minutes.
Yeah. So, but you know, each child is going to be very unique. Sometimes children will complain about a little bit of a tingling sensation or something like that. Is that something that we need to be concerned about?
Well, that's one of the main complaints of just using magnesium oil in general, is that magnesium oil is a very concentrated magnesium. And so in the like adult dose, the adult strength magnesium oil, yeah, you're going to get a lot of stinging with that. We did make this specifically for kids, so we did blend it with the aloe vera, which should make it a lot gentler on the skin. But for those kids that are really sensitive, they might have a little bit of stinging. That's not it's not really anything to be worried about, but it is one of those things that can happen. If that's the case, just maybe apply a little bit less, or I guess you could, I don't know, just wipe it off after it's been applied, and that tends to also go away pretty quick, but it does still seem to have some effect.
I think one of the other things to consider is sometimes the cooling effects that we feel from aloe vera gel, just like after a sunburn, when you feel that kind of cooling, it does sometimes feel almost like a sting. So I think especially with really young children, sometimes they have a hard time articulating what they're feeling, and it could just be that cooling sensation too. So if there's no irritation occurring and they're not really upset, then typically I think that's okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. The next one is, how much should we apply to a child?
Yeah. Again, this also is somewhat dependent on the child. Again, generally start off with just I guess a roll on the bottom of both feet. I guess that's kind of the best way to describe it. You can't really quantify the fluid volume of that, but a roll on the bottom of both feet. And then you can kind of work your way up from there. So I generally start, again, at the bottom of the feet, then you can kind of work your way up to like between the shoulder blades. That's a good place because they're not going to, reach around, touch around, and grab it. But again, just look for the response in the child. So you start off with a small amount. That's usually good enough for most people, just on the bottom of the feet, but sometimes you need a little bit more.
I think that's it as far as our frequently asked questions go. If you have anything else, then please feel free to contact us via email or send us a message on Facebook or whatever is most convenient for you. So thanks so much for joining us.
See ya.